Hello fight fans, I'm Mike of Fights with Friends, and just when we thought the heavyweight division couldn't get any more complex, Jon Jones officially throws his name into the hat. Now, of course, Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic are set for a rematch on August 7th. Very quickly now, Francis Ngannou just knocked out Junior Dos Santos in under a minute and a half on UFC on ESPN3 and called for a title shot. He wants the winner of that match. But depending on who wins that match, this could go in a lot of different directions. And one of those directions that we talked about and we thought maybe it had kind of went away was Jon Jones. Jon Jones immediately after this last event talked to Brett Okamoto via MMAfighting.com or and MMAnews.com. I'll leave a link down below if you want to read more about that. Basically, he said, I've been content to dominate the light heavyweight division. There are contenders here for me, but show me the money and I'm ready to go to heavyweight, especially for a super fight. I said, it would have to be a championship fight or a super fight or both. And there's no reason to believe that the UFC would bring him to heavyweight for anything other than that. They're not going to give him a tune-up match. I mean, he's Jon frickin' Jones, for God's sakes. So Francis Ngannou, he may have to wait in line a little longer. Let's go through some of the scenarios of what could happen. We have one more piece to play out, and then this whole heavyweight division could fractionalize again. So let's take our first scenario. Stipe Miocic defeats Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier has said that he wants to retire at 40 years old. Then he said he wants to retire after Stipe. Then he said he would like to see some money fights. He said a lot of different things. He's coming back from a surgery. He's gained some weight. So let's say first Stipe Miocic knocks out Daniel Cormier. Junior Dos Santos just lost. As far as the UFC being able to put a narrative to fights, Junior Dos Santos and Stipe Miocic would have been great because they're 1-1. That would have been the trilogy, but that doesn't make sense anymore. Francis Ngannou, a lot of people believe that he could win the rematch now against Stipe Miocic. They feel that he's that much of a better fighter. I feel myself that the fight still plays out somewhat similar unless Stipe just really lost a lot or got quite a bit older since taking time off and losing to Daniel Cormier, or that it's affected him mentally, which we're about to find out on August 7th. Now let's assume Daniel Cormier wins this one. Now, a lot of things could happen again. Daniel Cormier wins, or if Stipe wins, you have the Stipe DC. You could possibly have the trilogy there, which I would love to see. I think that would be amazing. If Stipe wins that one, I think the trilogy is a huge fight. It's one of the biggest fights in the UFC out there right now in the current weight classes. Now, if Daniel Cormier wins, he could go the route of Jon Jones. If they offer him enough money, he could go the route of Francis Ngannou. A lot of people think that Francis Ngannou would be a lot of trouble for him. I think Daniel Cormier myself, I think he would easily out-wrestle him. If he can manage not to get hit, which I think he will, he's not going to have the same kind of disadvantages that Jon Jones would against Ngannou in that kind of a match, because he's got a lot of weight behind him. He's probably going to outweigh Francis Ngannou, or at least weigh the same. He's over 265 right now, as we've talked about recently, and Ngannou weighed in at 255 for the JDS fight. So I don't really see much of a problem with Daniel Cormier just out-wrestling Ngannou for 5 rounds and possibly finishing him. Now let's go the other direction. Jon Jones just said he's willing to come to heavyweight. We know Daniel Cormier wants that fight back. He's lost twice to Jones. One of them was taken away, but it still bothers him, that head kick, after Jon Jones tested positive for steroids. So he would really like that back. Jon Jones in the past had said that he wants it only at light heavyweight. Now he is open to heavyweight in every sense of the being, in my mind, because he said he wants it to be a super fight or a title fight. Like I said, the UFC is not going to put him in anything other than those. And he says they're going to have to pay him more. They're going to have to show him the green. Well, whether he fights Ngannou, DC, or Stipe, him moving up to heavyweight, I think that creates a tremendous amount of interest. It gets me, I am extremely excited to see him fight either three of those guys. And I'm not real excited about a lot going on at light heavyweight now. In my mind, you have Johnny Walker and Dominic Reyes coming up on their way up. And if he gets past Santos, which he most likely should, I mean, there's really nothing left for him in my mind. I'm not sure what he sees there, but I want to know what you guys think. What do you think will happen? What do you think is going to happen in the heavyweight division? Who do you think is going to win? You know, DC and Stipe, of course, that's the next piece. What happens with Junior Dos Santos, whatever you guys want to talk about. And is Francis Ngannou the king of the heavyweights? Was he right to call out for a title shot afterwards? Does he deserve a title shot, especially if it's against Stipe Miocic? How would he play out against Daniel Cormier or Jon Jones? And how would Stipe Miocic play out against Jon Jones? How would Daniel Cormier versus Jon Jones be different at heavyweight? I think these are all extremely intriguing questions, and I look forward to your guys' opinions and comments there down below. If you are new here, please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you're notified whenever I drop a new video or go live, like every Tuesday for Tuesday Night Trivia and basically every major UFC, Bellator, and boxing event. Until next time, as always, I love you. I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.